a rapper that nobody know about. But here's a man that everybody love, and you're going to go and put this video out with all these white women in your stuff. What message is this sending? You see what I'm saying? And you know what? Isn't it funny? Now shit is actually beginning to, we say something 1 month, the next month stuff is starting to doggone bear witness. So we said that they was going to raise up both Dennis Rodman and your other boy, RuPaul, and now both of them got TV shows coming on. RuPaul got a TV show coming on VH1, and Dennis Rodman has one coming on this fall on MTV. You see, they're raising up the big freak type thing. Yeah, plus, you know, on the first RuPaul show, what he doing? He kissing Dennis Rodman. Now, what kind of symbolism is that? A black man in 1996, 2 black men on the damn TV kissing each other. That's some foul stuff. And you know what I'm saying? And we're not talking about, and we're not in the job of bashing somebody for their sexual preference and stuff, because really, in actuality, the gods and the whole thing down here is fucked up, period. There ain't no moralism, there ain't nothing down here, but the key is we understand the blueprint on what the white man is trying to do. You see what I'm saying? What the white man is trying to do. Now you see every time you turn around, like they say, they got the sisters freaking in every doggone thing. You see what I'm saying? So that's interesting too. Now it's interesting because we got some new information. First of all, we know that the whole OJ thing is back. Now I told you, and it's funny, and this is the funny part about it, how stuff play out. Now I told you last year that we had found that the OJ Simpson trial, let me see if I can find this book. I think I put it in here. The O.J. Simpson was an ancient trial that they talked about, this great trial that would be held in Egypt in the last days, where they would try to mess the credibility of the black man up. So don't look at O.J. as the figure. Black people was on trial, right? And so this ancient trial, it was verbatim, but it was interesting because in this trial that they talk about, which is in the section of this book. In this book, which is a valuable book, From Fetish to God of Ancient Egypt by E. Wallace Budge, in the back of this book, they have papyruses out of the British Museum. This is the last book of his life, Budge, and so he decided to give up all these papyruses that he was actually writing all his books from. So in the back of this book, there's several papyrus, like the winged disc of Heru of Edfu, which is talking about if you didn't have the melanin, they cut off your head, which you get the movie Highlander from. You see what I'm saying? They say only one can be the Highlander, or the blood of kings running through you. So in this particular section of the papyrus in the back of this book, that when you see the legend of Heru Behutet, of the winged disc of Edfu, they're talking about if you didn't have that black dot, they would cut off your head. And in the legend of Heru Behutet, Behutet is an ancient word for melanin. It means the black dot or the black circle that we're talking about here, or the black dot or the black circle, which we give a figure of the Gnostic Christ, Abraxas, and it gives you the black dot also right here in the wings and the Kundalini energy and all of this too. Which we have several things of the black dot. And like I said, I always like to put this one up here because, you know, that's how your spirit looks outside of the body. And like I said before, some of you people, you might have seen some of these things some night that you see a black silhouette and stuff. That's actually a person. And it can take different forms and stuff, but that's how you look. And so based on the people in England, based on the occultists in England, they're saying if you don't look like this, then in actuality you ain't real or you ain't the gods. So therefore we know how that is. But listen. But we do know that in here there's a trial in the part called the Contendings of Horus and Set. Wherever you want to go. The Contendings of Horus and Set. And in there, well, there's a chair here if you want to, or whatever. In here, in the Contendings of Horus and Set, they talk about an ancient trial. But it's interesting now, as so, the devil in here, which is the doggone white boy, he loses the trial. Just as on August the 3rd of 1995, he lost the trial because, number one, that's 10 and 3, which is 13, which is his unlucky number in the first damn place. But anyway, he lost the trial. But in the back of the book, they said that he begs the people, he begs the gods, when the devil loses, he said, no, I want a second trial. Now, what are the odds of that shit? Say, I want a second trial, which he ends up losing anyway. So it don't necessarily mean that it doesn't necessarily mean that OJ is going to win the trial. But what it does mean is that basically Basically, this second trial is showing you that this beast is so much of a beast that he can't forget certain amount of things. Now, in 1936 or 35 or 36, they had another crime of the century where they killed this white boy, that Jew boy, for the Limburg baby. Now, and all of a sudden, now they brought this movie out, the crime of the century. And where the white boy literally killed this person because they needed somebody, and because he was this Jew person that they didn't like. Now, isn't it funny that almost, 60 years later, they would have another trial, you see what I'm saying, of the same magnitude, and call it the trial of the century, and that was called the crime of the century. You see, very, very key, and nothing is by chance when they do certain amount of things like that. Nothing is by chance. But isn't it funny how these people cannot bring themselves to believe that this man is innocent? You see what I'm saying? It's innocent. And basically, the reason why they can't bring themselves to believe this man is innocent, because they can't bring themselves to believe that they're so arrogant to say that no one could ever plant evidence. Although they can make movies about their white boys and little children getting planted and getting framed by the police, but a black man can't be framed. That's what you're talking about, a sociopathic type of incident. Now, the key to this thing is that we got new evidence that's actually going on, and the new evidence is that what you're dealing with here is that the main person that was involved in the killing was actually Cato Kalin. This is the new shit. Cato Kalin is the one that gave him the gloves, gave him the boots, and gave him all the stuff. You see what I'm saying? And also we understand that he did this particular information. He gave him this particular information for the simple fact that he was planted there in the get-go to do the whole 9 yards. And cooperate with the police. That's how they knocked on the door. He's the one that put the bloody sock in the living room. Cato Kalin is the biggest part of this thing. But what the government did and what they do to fool you, they made Cato Kalin as he's this dunce, this homeless house fella. You see what I'm saying? That's just like this valley boy that's stupid. See, they always do this to throw you off. See, that's what they did when they give you Bill Clinton. They say he's stupid and all this kind of thing, and they do this stuff to throw you off. You see what I'm saying? So you thinking, okay, no, he's a so stupid homeless person. He's the main person around this thing. So like I said before, they released the movie The Chase, which we have to go in and you need to go to the public library and you need to find out. You look on the Friday edition. You look on the Friday edition, let's say somewhere around June or April. And you need to find out when was the movie The Chase, that starred, what's his name, Charlie Sheen. You need to find out when did this movie actually come out, because this particular movie came out, I think, a month before the actual chase scene of the Bronco. You see what I'm saying? And a month before Nicole died. You see what I'm saying? And then what happened was he's being chased, and they got the TV cameras and all this, and then what happened? They say, well, he said, I was accused of something I didn't do. I was an innocent person. He said, what happened? He said, but they accused me, and I got time because they expected O.J. Simpson to get time. That was the guards that intervened. He said, I got time because I had a cut on my hand, and they took the DNA from the cut on my hand and convicted me. Now, what are the odds? It's no coincidence. What are the odds of they having this movie come out, and he's getting convicted with the cut on his hand, and they got the chase scene in the movie cameras, which the movie came out. How can this cracker can take a movie and actually make a movie of what he's going to do a month before, release it a month before, and then do the exact same thing the next month? You see what I'm saying? So he did this, and in this particular movie, what makes this movie authentic is that who was supposed to be the best man at Charlie Sheen, the star of this movie's wedding? Cato Kalin. See what I'm saying? So now the movie goes out of just a theory type thing, and you just putting two and two together to a reality that it was a setup from the get-go. And Cato Kalin is the doggone key. You see what I'm saying? On side of he was screwing around with Nicole and stuff, you know. But hell, she screwed Faye Resnick and all this kind of shit. So who the fuck is she? You know what I'm saying? And all this type of stuff. So the whole thing was set up. And so that movie, The Chase. Also, there's certain things that you got to understand in investigative reporting. Another movie, Natural Born Killers, came out it came out about a month or 3 weeks after the killing. Came out like the 1st of August. You go to the periodicals, and you get the newspaper periodicals, and you can go to the movie section and find out when is the release dates of The Chase and Natural Born Killers. So it came out around August. Now, it's interesting about this movie, we would not even ever have thought about this movie, because when I saw the movie when it first came out, and it didn't register until I saw the movie on cable about a month ago. Now, here's a movie that comes out in August, a month after the killing. He hadn't even gone to trial yet, but yet they will flash his picture along with Charles Manson's picture. Now, wait a minute. We can't, so mostly people will look, and so people will look now and say, oh, they got OJ up there, and they don't know about the release date. Now, it's funny if the movie came out this year and they did it. You understand what I'm saying? Because we know they're bitter about the trial. But how are you going to put this man as a mass murderer up against Charles Manson? You understand what I'm saying? Oh, the brother fell out. Oh, man. Let's see what happened. I think the brother fell out back there. Huh? Is he out? Cut your tape for a minute. Is he all right? Let the brother sit down. He might have just got dizzy from standing up. Or then again, it might be the energy too. Yeah, you need to go outside, brother. Are you all right? You think it's because of you standing up? It's Yeah. You might have just sometimes when you stand up like that, hell, I get weak like that too. Whatever. Get you some water or whatever. Then come on back, brother. You see, if you want to go outside, or you want to come back or whatever, yeah, that's sometimes standing up like that, just or you can get a brother a seat, whatever. Or you can cut it back on. You cut it back on. You got it back on? So what I'm trying to say here is, what are the odds of them convicting this man and putting him against, the magnitude of putting him against doggone Charles Manson before the trial even started? You see what I'm saying? Before the trial even started. The movie Just Cause. So they had the movie Just Cause, and both Sean Connery and the guy Blair Underwood argued that no, we didn't do this movie based on the O.J. Simpson trial because the book was written in 1982. Right? 1992. Right? But we understood that the whole thing, the O.J. Simpson thing, was nothing but a trial basis that spurned, and it was the second part of the Rodney King verdict in 1992. So if they went to work on this book, you got to understand that all these movies came out at the same time, and that's a whole system that they got, basically trying to undermine black life in America, because one thing about black life, up until recently, black people was the moral authority of America, period. Even white people, if they say, well, we can't get shit to stick now unless we put some Negroes in it. You see what I'm saying? Because we went to church more than anybody else. So the key is to make the black person this particular freak, so therefore they can do what the hell they want to do with black people in the future. You see what I'm saying? So this is interesting. This particularly interesting. But the movie, The Chase is the movie that you need to see, which is documenting that the whole Cato Kalin, which was the best friend of Charlie Sheen, was all in on this movie. And that was the key movie to let you know on what they were going to do. They came around again, so they're always testing the market. So they came around again last year. We're just doing some recaps, and they said, well, now we know we got black people, because they did something last year that was the most advanced and the most advanced thing that they could ever do. And that was to release the movie Outbreak 1 week, and 2 weeks later they actually have the outbreak of Ebola. Now what are the odds of that? And nobody even questioned it. So they do these to have a reaction from most of the people, because most of the people are not in consciousness. That's why you got to understand the beauty of the brothers and sisters that's in consciousness is it goes beyond just you being gods and nobody else. It goes beyond to say that it is because of you that the race has a chance. Although everything is going to be redeemed anyway. That's prophesied. But you got to understand, in the form of the redemption of us going to the higher levels, the whole race being redeemed, there's a group of people that is sent down to be the helpers. And those group of people, if you don't get anything, the reason why shit is holding back is because the ones in consciousness do not understand it. You are those people. That's the deal. You see what I'm saying? So now, instead of feeling good about your career and whether I made it, whether I got enough money, That's superficial shit, which is nothing anyway. Idiots have money. You see what I'm saying? The most diabolical people in the world have so-called, quote-unquote, made it. But the most important people on the planet is the one that received this knowledge to get the people out of this shit, and that is you. Check? And this is the key. We got to keep constantly reminding ourselves. And it's an ongoing process. You got to remind yourself every day that I am the Christ which is to come, which the Holy Kabbalah tell you that you are. You see what I'm saying? And start thinking like a god and all. So now, let's go on. Another movie came out, Blue Skies, to show you the cult of America. Movie with Jessica Lange and Tommy Lee Jones. And the movie is dealing with, they dropped some nuclear testing there was nuclear testing in the 50s or whatever. And they saw there was two people that was farming out there on the horses. And they didn't tell the people to get out of the way, and they dropped the bomb anyway, and these people start coming down with all kind of stuff. So when Jessica Lange came out to tell the two people that the government is the one that is the reason for them coming down with all these ailments and this nuclear stuff, they said one thing in the movie. He said, no, my government didn't say they did this. And until my government says that that's what happened, I have to believe what the government says. Or I can't believe that the government will do this. That's showing you that the brainwashing techniques in America. So it's interesting. So movies like these that come out, it's small things, but it's major things also too. Check? It's major things also too. Now, what is the deal? Now the new shit is the drugs and the CIA. All that is a new plot to get you from thinking the other way. First of all, it's not the conscious people that knew this. Every fool from Alabama, Georgia, and down Mississippi knew that the government planted the drugs. Hell, I go to Mullins and people say, well, you know the whole thing. We ain't got no boats, no planes, and all. We've been saying that for 10 years. So everybody knew that the government is the one that planted the damn drugs in the community. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody knew this. They've had black, so-called, quote-unquote, black exploitation flicks that dealt with that. So why is it now, all of a sudden, we're so crazy until we couldn't take action 10 years ago, we got to wait till the white man validates it. Now, let's not be stupid with this mess. First of all, the government got shit that they did 100 years ago that you don't know about. Or you will find out 100 years later and say, it was bad how they dropped them smallpox on the Indians and all this kind of shit. So you know damn well if the government, the way they are, whereas they can kill everybody that even think, hell, they can, if a person comes up and breaks some news in the newspaper, they can come in and jack that nigga up and put some electrodes under his balls and some razor blades up his ass, and he'll print a retraction the next day. So obviously, if this particular information is getting out, but they got information that will never get out. You understand what I'm saying? If this particular information is getting out where they put it on the news, and the news is run by the government, that means that the government is the one that is behind putting this information out. Now all the black bourgeoisie Negroes is running up to Washington, D.C. You see what I'm saying? And that's the reason why, so when you found out, hell, Farrakhan told them about that 10 years ago at Northwestern University, that the government is the #1 funder of the government is damn dope. Any fool know this, but you mean to tell me, now here it is, this is the sickness of it, because it's all a test. You so sick that you can't damn stand up as grown people, as spiritual people, and say, hell, we know the deal back in 1988, 1986, 1987, in 1990 when you finally realized the shit. We know the deal that you the one that's putting it in. No, you got to wait till the damn white man documents it. And he always put the shit out, he always documents it 10 years too late. Too late now, you don't even know who. Hell, half the people could be dead. Hell, all the black people already in jail. Half of them dead now. Half of them will never be no good. So it's not the object to come in and say, oh, we got the information now that they did this, when the black, it's in the story. Hell, he done put your man in jail now, and he's ruined for life. You see what I'm saying? But that's the way they do it. They always come out with 10-year-old news. So this is old shit that they come out with now, and bring it up now, and all the black people think, oh, this is the new shit. Oh, you heard about it 10 years ago, but now all of a sudden it's new on your mind because the white man said it, and life does not exist until the white man documented on his news for our people. So he brings it out now. Now, why is he bringing it out now? He's bringing it out now to basically counter his new thing, which is black body snatching. which is tons and tons, like I said before, tons of projects around the country that closed down, and you got black people in concentration camps. And as a result, we got at least 12 million black people in concentration camps. So to get you to stop thinking about that particular thing, he'll give you some old news about some crack and some shit that done happened, whereas they just disbanded Red Dog. Crack basically is damn near gone compared to what crack was 5 years ago. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, you still got a little bit of crack, but I'm trying to say the crack epidemic is basically all the big people in jail. So he'll give you the old news on an old project that was successful to you to keep you off of the new project, basically, which is actually old news too. You see what I'm saying? But this is the project, he ain't got enough of you off the street yet, because he's coming down to the black bourgeoisie next. So it's in the middle of this project, and so boom, to keep people from finding out about it, he'll give you the old news about the crack cocaine of 10 years ago, and then and actually come out and say, yeah, this is true. And he'll give you this to keep you off of what's going on now, which they're actually snatching your bodies. And the beautiful part about it is this. Now all of a sudden, the I told you so's is coming rapidly. So we got it documented on tape. I came out about a month ago, 2 months ago, and told you that they was taking the homeless and taking the what you call, you heard it on the radio, and taking the, close down all the projects. The Spirit is showing you, because now this is one of the greatest times to understand that the Spirit is working for the simple doggone fact that the cracker in the middle of the conspiracy comes out with a movie Friday. The damn movie Extreme Measures. And he comes out with this movie Friday. And anybody go see the movie yet? We went to see the movie yesterday. And the movie is all of that. Because they start out with the homeless people. So they put a little bit of white people up in there to throw you off. But then again, on the other hand, like I told you before, they even doing this to pole crackers too. You see what I'm saying? That's their tough luck. Fuck them. See what I'm saying? Damn a redneck. We ain't getting no allowance with no beast and stuff. But here it is. This crazy nigga comes on the radio. We're not talking about you because you conscious, but we talking about the masses on the way we think. This crazy nigga on the radio talking about how they're putting people in concentration camps to do experiments, right? To do experiments. So, all of a sudden, a month later, they come out with the actual movie called Extreme Measures, where they show them taking the actual homeless. They say, well, why do you do the homeless? They say, why you do poor people? See, that's a code word for niggers. You see what I'm saying? Why do you do poor people? Because nobody will miss them. You see what I'm saying? And they got this whole movie going on, so they'll give you the little technology about paracollegiate and all this type of stuff when you go see the movie. But basically, the movie, they can't tell you about the melatonin program. You see what I'm saying? About the melatonin program. But they will give you the information based on the information on what they actually do. And they had this whole thing going on in the movie, and you got to go see this movie. Go see the movie tomorrow. Go see it the matinee or whatever, but you got to go see the movie, because now we're talking about they're actually documenting this stuff and it's in the movie. Do you know? Okay, so, well, you know, that's just a coincidence. It ain't no coincidence. Guess who wrote the movie? The movie was written by a medical doctor. I forgot the guy's name. I should have broke the guy's name. But I went, and what happened was, they have the little small paperback book out also, too, which will give you 8 times as much as the movie. The little $4 paperback book, Extreme Measures. Come to find out, the movie is written by this particular doctor, and Elizabeth Hurley, who is the woman that's the boyfriend, the girlfriend to Hugh Grant, they decided to come in, and she put the money up to produce it, or either she came and knew a couple of people. When you produce a movie, you don't use your own money, you just, producers just go out and get money for the movie. So she put the money up to produce this movie, but it's based off of a medical doctor's book, Extreme Measures, that was on the damn bestsellers list for a whole year. So the key, what I'm trying to say here is this. This particular medical doctor is the person this is the doctor that if he's not experimenting because he's in the doctor's community, he knows of the people that is experimenting on black people. So all he has to do is come in and write this movie and just change it from the black people to homeless people and put a little bit of white people up in there, and you got it. You see what I'm saying? Now, it wouldn't be, it would still be, oh yeah, you still just grasping for straws here, but what are the odds of a medical doctor? You see? And so they got this new thing now, they call it medical horror, or medical suspense, where they're getting ready to go in and show all this shit these damn Nazi doctors is doing. You see what I'm saying? It's nothing but a carryover from World War II. But it's just on your ass now with the concentration camps. You see what I'm saying? So they do all of this particular stuff that's more advanced now. You see what I'm saying? And they're putting it in these books and they're making these movies. You see what I'm saying? So the key is, but this is, now let's try to, we're going to have to brainstorm here because we're going to have to try to understand something. Look at the magnitude of this. This is not World War II where you actually have a public acknowledgement of the people taking these so-called Jews off and putting them in concentration camps. What we have here that's going on that makes this worse is the masses of the people don't even suspect this is happening until you end up in the concentration camp and actually be the victim. And that's the damn what the movie was talking about. The only reason why he found out is 2 people escaped. And the whole shit chain of action he was investigating, and they end up setting his ass up. The cops put put cocaine in his house, and he ended up getting set up his damn self. It's the same stuff. So this is a key movie that you must go see because it is actually documenting. Another key thing is this. If you look at go back and look at any pictures from the turn of the century, any pictures from the turn of the century, which means that the bulk of your race at that particular time was mostly and mainly dark-skinned people. Although you had a lot of light-skinned people, but a light-skinned people was fairly a minority, or a person that you would be considered, some people consider you dark, which you are the average tone now, or this brother would be the average tone now, which would be the model now, but the model, the masses of the model in the United States was something like this sister's color back here. You see what I'm saying? Or something like this sister's color back here. That would be the model. That is the exception now. That's not the norm anymore. You understand what I'm saying? So what we're talking about is this. If the turn of the century, that this sister would be the model, and she's considered light in most circles compared to the African. If you were the model in the turn of the century, and this is supposed to be after slavery, we want to know what happened to that whole place, that whole, what you say, post-slavery race that's gone now. That means that in actuality, they have literally, from the last, let's say the last 100 years, they have literally, let's say 130 years, 1865, 1965, 131 years, they have actually came in and wiped out a whole dark-skinned race of people. And we are the leftover of that. You understand what I'm saying? But like I told you before, there was not a hanging unless they had a barbecue grill, because they ate a lot of those. You see what I'm saying? So now the movie actually bears witness that the white rat theory, that is not even white rat theory. 98% of all stuff, all medicine that we have now, pharmaceutical medicine that we have now, was done by human subjects. You understand what I'm saying? Unfortunately, for the last 31 years, we have been the human subjects. See, the argument in the movie was that we don't mind you doing this, but you can't do it with human subjects. Guys say, oh, fuck that, rats take too long. So the key is, most of the medicine that they put out, even the rat was a decoy. Most of the medicine that is made in the United States has been made from human subjects, and we have been at the damn bulk of that. It's been at our expense. You understand where I'm coming from? So it's interesting. So we got a whole dark-skinned race of people that's gone. And the reason why I know this, because you can go to any form of the Caribbean. You go to Jamaica, and you go to several places, even though they have light-skinned people in Jamaica, and they have light-skinned people in the Caribbean. If you notice, they still have an element where the masses of the people are darker-skinned people. You see what I'm saying? If you go to the Indian, you go to Bahamas and stuff, you will see an